back, folks. Well, if you're watching the show now, you'll of course know that there's such a lekker gees at the moment. We're talking club rugby. We're having a nice bit of fun. There's definitely a good vibe. A lot of friendlies at the moment that have come in, and of course we're grateful to those clubs, especially the media marketing and sponsorship guys that have been sending their results in to us. Keep sharing it. We'll keep asking you on Facebook, but please keep sharing your results with us. Let's take a look then at some of the results from the weekend. Well, Stelkor hosted Swellendam this weekend. Swellendam winning their 32 points to 3. Young Peoples travelled all the way to, well, in fact, no, Paarwater Noster came down to Young Peoples, 31 points to 12, win for Young Peoples. Whistling Wheels with a 10-all draw against Lamont Wanderers, and Kylemore with a 47-10 win over Simonium. And of course, you just saw the match between All Saints and Macassar, as All Saints took the bragging rights there, 20 points to 14. Faizel, before we go to some of the fixtures that are coming up this weekend, one of the things that we are starting to see is clubs have managed to get some success with the lotto side of things. You must be happy with clubs that have managed to get some money in their bank account, courtesy of Lotto and the work that you guys did last year.
So happy. I think from our side, a bit overwhelmed and overjoyed. I think it's well. A lot of the clubs are in much need of financial assistance and that. And I must commend the guys that did apply to the Lotto. That some of the guys that through that we assisted and that were able to get funding. So in the last week or two, a lot of those Lotto applications and funding have come through, and a lot
so
of
the clubs are getting money in the bank.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, for clubs out there that are struggling, that are in need of assistance, there's a perfect opportunity again to take up the opportunity. And again, I think from the officer's side, if you need assistance and help, we're there to assist and help you. Yeah. If all that you need to do is just get the information to us, we will put it together, we will assist and help you and take you through the process. So it's quite simple.
Just tell me a little bit about when we, maybe people don't always translate it into something. Are we seeing, what are the kind of things typically that we will see clubs who have been successful and have managed to get money from Lotto? What are the kind of things that we normally see them spending that money on? Is it jerseys and pole protectors, or what is it?
Yes, I think from a Lotto side, it's very prescriptive in terms of what funding you get. So the main focus is kit and equipment in terms of assisting and help. And if you look at a lot of the clubs, that's where the need is. These guys always asking, for balls, for assistance, for kit and that there. So you have a perfect opportunity now to basically kit out your entire team that you have within your club, with the assistance of the Lotto.
So are we starting to see already, are we at that stage now where if you say clubs are putting money in the bank, getting money from the Lotto, are we seeing clubs already ordering new jerseys, buying new kit? And some of these clubs that are looking so fancy now, is this because of their successful Lotto applications?
No, definitely. I think earlier on we saw All Saints, they kitted out with the Lotto branding, Lotto pole protectors and that there. So for the clubs, I think that applied. I must again, commend and I say thank you. I know, Hands and Hearts there as well. They're one of them. The hard work that the management have put in place to make sure that, from a player's perspective, that they have got support. And it's a simple process. I'll say to a lot of clubs, if you need help and you need assistance, you need to take up this opportunity.
Right. So there we go, folks. If you still have not had your Lotto applications in, reach out to Western Province Rugby so that they will help you with the Lotto applications. We would of course want to see that all the clubs and their administrators are kitted out in new jerseys or balls, or getting new balls or pole protectors, whatever it is. But take that opportunity to apply for that funding. Certainly will be. I'm sure all clubs need it. Let's take a look at some of the friendly fixtures then coming up this weekend. Remember, folks, these are, of course, official friendly fixtures as approved by Western Province Rugby. LC Srifir take on Stelkor this weekend. Hands and Hearts and Blakes. It's Gardens and Collegians. CPUT and Tygerberg, Bishop Lavis are hosting Delft. And then Rocklands. Lamont Wanderers travel to Rocklands, while Whistling Wheels travels to Eersterivier, and Windmill United are off to Visantkraal. Kraaifontein hosts Fora. Belhar will be taking on Albions. Brackenfell and Durbell, Belleville and Blue Jets, Van der Stel and Evergreens. Morningstar are hosting Scottsdene, and Hamlets are hosting Hammerdeers. Gentlemen, if we look through some of these matches, Jerome, you've got a big smile on your face. Is there anything that jumps to mind for you?
No, it's good to see all the teams playing, and they organize the friendlies and stuff. And I think the one that stands out for me is CPUT versus Tigerberg, because CPUT next Friday is their first
Varsity
Shield game. So it's interesting to see what they're up to.
But Faizel, looking at this, we spoke earlier about some of the derbies. There are some interesting matches here. I mean, if you just look, for example, I think the Morningstar Scottsdene game could be a tough game.
Yeah, definitely. I think also you've got Esterfield and Whistling Wheels. That's also a big derby game in that there. So I think any game at the moment, spectators and everybody want to get out there and they want to, see rugby in that there. So for, I think for any club, every game should be a derby day.
Jerome, Belleville, and or at least Brackenfell and Durban.
Yeah, that's a big one also. Yeah. It's also neighbours, so that's
also a lot of players there that know each other, and then Belhar and Albions also strikes me as an interesting game. I think there's also going to be a big game there.
That's going to be a big one also, yes.
Yeah, and of course maybe also close to home is Van der Stel Evergreens up against Excelsior. But yes, a number of top games there. Interesting in games where we could probably look and find many derby comparisons in this weekend. But Jerome, your next game then, Western Province DHL West Province Currie Cup side, you've got a bit of a break?
Yeah, we've got a bit of a great break. Then our next game is against Cheetahs in Bloemfontein.
Faizel, final question. We know that you guys had meetings this week. Women's rugby, massive success in the last few years, the growth of women's rugby, the various representatives at clubs. Successful. I believe you guys had a successful meeting this week.
Yeah, definitely. We had last night a fantastic meeting, a number of new clubs, a number of new faces. So I think from women's rugby, in terms of what the plans is and the input that we've received, we're looking forward to a fantastic season. I think the one element to highlight is basically in terms of the start of the club rugby season, which we will probably start around about in August. But obviously that's in discussion now with the clubs. But it helps in terms of focusing on the IPL, which starts now at the end of April.
And of course, this year you guys are also going to be looking at additional elements like 10s and 7s and 5s and so on.
Yeah, so
I don't think we've got 5s already.
I think just on that as well, JP, I think the key thing with the ladies, it's about growth. So the focus is going to be initially on 7s and 10s while the IPL is taking place. So we're obviously going to look at trying to support the ladies in terms of the IPL planning and preparation. And then from a 7s and 10 perspective, it's all about growth and looking at identifying new players and that there. So yeah, definitely. I think the plan in terms of what we've got planned and that there, I think definitely we'll be on track to have a strong club rugby season starting in August.
And if there are women out there who want to join a club structure, those doors are still open. And if they want to join as a club representative, am I right, those doors are still open?
Yeah, there's a number of clubs that have started, but I think the one key thing that we're looking at also doing is that although we're starting 7s and 10s, in May, June, we're going to be having 15. So the clubs that have teams will still continue playing. And those clubs where there are players within specific areas where there aren't any clubs, there will be regions. So anybody that's wanting to join, you either sign up at a club or otherwise contact the office. You can contact in terms of signing up at a club.
All right. So there you go, folks. Don't forget then, every club is supposed to have a women's representative, and that will help grow the women's rugby and girls rugby structures at those clubs. So if you are interested, reach out to Western Province Rugby and become a champion for women's rugby at clubs. Jerome, thank you very much. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place.
Yes, I'm available next week, JP, so I'll be here.
Fantastic. And Faizel, fantastic to have you here. We'll also hopefully catch you again next week.
Always great to be here, JP. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
There we go, folks. The spirit of club rugby is back. We're so happy to be talking about friendlies and fixtures and results and logs and so on. It's all coming now. Stay tuned. Make sure that you tune in every Wednesday on Cape Town TV. And just incidentally, folks, if you have not worked out yet, that for those of you that are terrestrial viewers, go and get your set-top box. This is a digital box that you can get that is out there that will help you pick up the terrestrial signal, because where there will be a changeover in the broadcast signal at the end of March. So make sure that you go out and get your little set-top box from one of the retailers. You can, of course, apply for it at the post office as well. Very important that you get that. A lot of channels on that set-top box for you to watch as well. You just plug in your TV, you put your antenna in there, use the remote control, and you can keep watching Cape Rugby TV here on Cape Town TV. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic sporting weekend. Bye-bye.